Yeah. Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rapper, Billy man, shit, nigga. They take their head over, nigga.
Pray what Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samson, I can't let no hoe lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, oh they lies, this hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Suckle up and stay alert, another cop can stretch the nigga. He ain't demon, this an exorcism, watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision, let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit, I ain't listening, is effective. If revenge was a woman, now I scope that bitch like Jacob. So I walk, we gon' run the summer, it's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young pay. How you real triggering on the dot? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit like it ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that fight first. I turn a bad situation to a game change. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Bring shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never break the hand and feed you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitch about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody won't be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. A certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow sign, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my brain, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get it boy lost, they gon' start to call it Bell Run. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
Previously in history class, the mask of Edom, the man of sin revealed. Who is Esau? Esau, Isha in the Hebrew, who was given this name which means hairy because he came out red and hairy all over like a garment. He's a progenitor of the Edomites, who was given this name Edom when he ate an uncooked pottage of stew. And he was given the name Edom because the meat was uncooked and red. He's progenitor of the Edomites, the Idumean descendants. The ultimate irony of the Jewish masquerade as the Lord's chosen people lies in the hidden little-known fact that today, as in centuries past, many who claim the appellation Israel are, in truth, the descendants of Esau, Israel's arch-enemies throughout history. Imposter syndrome, a psychological condition characterized by unfounded feelings of inadequacy concerning abilities, skills, talents, etc., and a fear of being revealed as a fraud. A discontinuing of personal success often experienced by high-achieving individuals, attributing accomplishments to luck rather than skill, considered a phenomenon, not a mental illness. Synonyms: imposter phenomenon, fraud syndrome, imposterism, the imposter cycle, low self-esteem. And this is where we will pick up today. When the remnant of the kingdom of Judah was taken to Babylon, many of the Edomite, Amalekites, Canaanite people who were already in Babylon became proselytes to Judaism. The proselytes adopted the name of the diaspora, or the diaspora of the Jews, but they were neither Judean nor Israelite in ancestry. And tonight we will touch on the forced conversion of the Idumean Empire in the 2nd century BCE under Highest Hyrcanus. Because as we brought out, the Romans came from Esau, who was Edom, and Italy is the Idumea, Rome, the Bozrah of the Hebrew prophets. I mean, just take a look at some of the commemorated trophies the Romans made when they sacked Judea. They made on the face of a coin the face of an Israelite man. I don't know about you. That looks like Uncle Leroy right there. And on another coin, they had a Israelite woman tied up in bondage and gagged. We'll be bringing out this information and many much more, because all we talk about is straight.
Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rapper, busy man.
All right. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. All right. It's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. It is Monday, the history class. You understand? We get into our history, our culture, using external references to back up and to support what is in the Bible. You know, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. You understand? So just to give a little preface, I mean, you guys, for those that's on Clubhouse, you heard the preview. For those that are on YouTube and Facebook, you saw the review, right? So basically, we're picking up. We're going into to Genesis chapter 26, but we're setting the stage with Genesis 25 because it sets the stage for the entire Bible, right? With Jacob and Esau, the same issues that we had in antiquity are the same issues that we have now, right? Then it was two brothers, now it's two nations, right? And these nations have propagated across the entire earth. And the same conflict that we had then, we're having now, right? So last week, right, we brought out the information of who Esau is, right? Going all the way back to ancient biblical times, and then we brought it up until the Roman period, right? So just so everyone can know where we are and know what we're dealing with, Chris, go to Genesis 25. And let's see where I want you to start at. Start at 26. No, start at 23. 23. Genesis 25 and 23. When you got it, go ahead and read it.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb,
Mm-hmm.
and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
All right, so this is two manner of people, right? And the Lord said in the womb that they would be two completely different nations. All right, so we have the nation of Esau, who is an older brother, right? Who becomes Edom, and the nation becomes the Edomites, right? Then we have the nation of the younger brother, Jacob, who becomes Israel, and his nation becomes the Israelites, right? And it says that the older will serve the younger, because the younger will be stronger than him, right? So we matter of fact, let me pull up the Yakubot. I want you to pull up the Mask of Edom. That's gonna be, let me go to what I sent you from the bottom. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want you to read the one that says page 16, and I'm going to pull it up on the screen for the people that are watching at home. It should start off the ultimate irony. You got it? Go ahead.
This is the Mask of Edom, page 16. The ultimate irony of the Jewish masquerade as the Lord's chosen people lies hidden in the little known fact that today, as in centuries past, many whom claim to appellations,
You said it right. Go ahead.
appellation Israel, are in truth descendants of Esau.
Of the descendants of who?
Of Esau.
Of who?
Of Esau.
Of who?
Of Esau.
You understand? So the people that say today that they are Jewish, right, are not descendants from the people from the book. They're in fact Edomites, right? Now there is a doctrine or a school of thought. A couple of brothers argued some points on Clubhouse last week, saying that the white man, you understand, is Japheth, right? Okay, but the not only the books that I brought out, but I'm going to go even further in depth today to show you how they became part of Rome, right? The Roman Empire, and then the person that converted them to Judaism, you understand, was one of the generals, right? Or I'm sorry, one of the captains, based off of his title of the Greeks. We're going to get into that today, going into the Greco-Roman Empire, to show how the Pharisees and Sadducees under Herod, you understand, because you had the good tree, then you had the evil tree of the Jews in the time of Christ, right? So you had the Jews that were proselytes, you understand, under King Herod, that were converts, right? And then you have the true descendants of Israel, you understand? And we're going to get into that today. All right. So keep reading.
Israel's arch enemy throughout history.
Israel's what?
Arch enemy throughout history.
So is an enemy a friend?
La'adawan.
You understand? They are the opposing force. They are the ops, right? So the people that are the so-called Jewish man today are the enemies of the real children of Israel and the real Jews, right? Now, when you look at who their racket is up and abused against, that should tell you who the real children of Israel are, because Esau hated Jacob, right? But he hated Jacob because Jacob was a plain man. Matter of fact, let's get in that. Chris, go back to Genesis 25. I want you to read 24.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment.
It came out what?
Like a hairy garment.
You understand? So, right? So as let's put this picture out there. He came out red and hairy like a garment, right? Now, our people, we not a very hairy people. We have hair, you understand? But the hair ain't like clothes. You understand? But I know some Bradens, you know what I'm saying, some Jeffries, you know what I'm saying, and some Chases, you know what I'm saying, that I went to private school with when I was in pre-K, and then when I went to middle school and went to summer camp, like they was in middle school and had hair all over. You understand? You feel me? So keep reading.
And they called his name Esau.
All right. So Esau in the Hebrew is I.S.U.P.K, right? I.S.U.P.K literally translates to hairy, right? That's why when he came out, oh man, that boy hairy as hell. That's gonna be his name, Esau, right? Keep reading.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob.
Now, the question that I always ask is, why did they describe Esau and not Jacob? You said what? Because he looked like everybody else. You understand? The reason why Esau was described and Jacob wasn't described is because Jacob looked like everybody else and Esau did not. He was an abnormality. Everybody wasn't hairy. You understand? You know, and everybody wasn't red. And for them to say he was red, he had to be red. You understand? And white people aren't white. They're pink. You understand? They are melanin deficient. You can see the blood under their skin, right? So when we say the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of, Salaki, the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? This is the reason why. You understand? Like, you think that the devil is someone under the ground with horns and a pitchfork and a red tail, and he's completely red. Well, I mean, technically he is kind of like that, but he ain't technically he did come from the ground because they come from the Caucasus Mountains. So I guess technically he did come from underground. He is red, you understand? And some of them do have tails, but he don't got no pitchfork. You understand? So now I want you to move over to where I want you to drop down to. Drop down to verse 27 so we can pick up where we left off so we can get some understanding.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter.
He was a what?
A cunning hunter.
Mm-hmm.
A man of the field.
What does it mean to be cunning? Nah, that's not what cunning means. Somebody look up cunning. What does cunning mean? Cunning does not mean sharp. Quick. What does cunning mean? If anybody want to type it in the chat, you can type it in the chat as well. You looked it up on your phone? Okay. By what? That's what it is. All right. So speaking to the mic, say what it said, Yakubad.
This is the Google definition for the word cunning.
Mm-hmm.
Having or showing skill in achieving one's ends by deceit or invasion.
Right, by deceit or invasion, right? So it's a skill in trickery, right? Lying, right? You understand? So the Hebrew word for cunning is yadai, right? Strong's Concordance H3045, right? Which means to know from experience, right? Or learn to know, right? What's another way of saying that? What's another way of saying know from experience or learn to know? No. It's an acquired skill, but you damn, I'm giving it away by saying it. No, it ain't practice. Okay. He doesn't learn from me telling you, right? Right. So if I tell you to do something, right, he doesn't learn that way. Right. There's two ways of learning. That's gonna give it away too.
I don't know what it is, but
You got kids?
yes.
Do you have a kid that all you gotta do is just tell them, hey, don't put your hand on the stove, you'll burn yourself. You got one of them?
They're all pretty much like that. Like they learn from being told.
They learn from being told?
Yes,
But we all know that we got siblings that don't learn from being told, right? How do they learn?
you gotta go through it.
They got to do what?
They gotta go through it.
They got to go through it. You understand? That's who Esau is, right? So that's what it means, you understand, to know from experience, right? He don't go off of what someone tells him. He has to go and experience it for himself, right? Okay, which means he's hard-headed. He's stubborn, right? His father Isaac kept the ways of his father Abraham. And of course, Isaac is going to teach Jacob and Esau the ways that his father taught him. But Esau, he didn't learn, he didn't want to heed to those examples, to the things that his father said, right? So that's the one type of son. Now let's read the other type of son. Keep reading.
And Jacob Was a plain man.
Was a what man?
A plain man.
A what man?
A plain man.
What does it mean to be plain?
Simple.
Right. I mean, so if you had one son that was cunning and the other one was plain, and we said the one that was cunning, he had to know or learn from experience or the hard way, what would be the plain one? How would the plain one learn?
He learns just by being taught. He's taught.
Exactly. He followed instructions, right? He followed the laws and the commandments of his father's house. He did not have to acquire things the hard way, right? So this set the stage for the spirit of the two types of nations, right? You understand? Us as Black people, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? We are naturally a spiritual people. You understand? We naturally lean or look to God, naturally. You understand? Now, some of us may have a zeal that's not according to knowledge, but you look to a higher power, right? You have a natural moral ethic code about you. You understand? Your oppressor, you understand, the so-called white man, you understand, or the devil that the Bible speaks of, the descendants of the Edomites, they don't. You understand? They have no moral or ethic code. That's why you see every treaty they made with the Native Americans, they broke. You understand? Every treaty they made with any country, they broke. You understand? Because they have no moral or ethic code. They have to learn from experience. You want to know how the white man learns? By going to war. If he wins, he's right. If he loses, he's wrong. You understand? But there is a great war that's coming. You understand? When Christ comes, and the stage is being set now. You understand? And the valley is going to be fought is the valley of decision, the valley of Jehoshaphat. And guess who's set to lose? Esau. He's the only nation, he's the only biblical nation in the Bible that said will be laid to waste, that will be no more in remembrance. You understand? It's going to be a museum. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go in there, you're going to see this pink clay statue. You understand? Or I'm sorry, a wax museum. You're going to see this clay wax statue of this pink homogeneous man. You understand? And you're going to say what it says in Isaiah 14. Is this the man that caused the earth to tremble? Is this the man that caused the earth to shake? You understand? Oh, how thou art fallen, O Lucifer. You understand? Now, we know by saying that, we know that Lucifer is a man. It is a title. You understand? He is the king of this wayward nation. All right. Now, let's jump back into it. All right. So, keep reading where you were on page 16, Yakabad. How do I share the screen? You got it? Page 16. You're gonna read the bottom part where it says Jewish nationalism.
Okay. This is the Mask of Esau, page 16. Jewish nationalism, part 2.
Mm-hmm.
The Esau, Edom, Edomin connection will shed more light on the background of the murky genesis of world Jewry.
Mm-hmm.
Judaism doesn't have a prophetic role to play, but not as Israel returning to the promised land, nor in fulfillment of the Zionist delusions of
Messianic
overlordship.
All right. So the current mindset, you understand, of the Ashkenaz, the Sephardic Jews, right, is overlordship. They feel that they have the rightful rulership, you understand, of the entire world. You understand? When in fact, that is a lie. All right. Go to I want to say it's page 22. Yeah, go to page 22 and start in that same section that I sent you. And I want you to read the one that says at the very top, it's a pink highlight, or pink highlight, and it says after their return from Babylon. And that's what we're going to pick up today.
This is the Mask of Esau, page 22. After their return from Babylon, certain ones of the house of Judah and some of the priests intermarried with the inhabitants of the land, and these intermarriages were severely condemned by Ezra, by Ezra, Nehemiah, Ezra 9 and 10, Nehemiah chapter 13 verses 23 through
question,
29.
Why were these things condemned? Why was the intermarriage of these people condemned? Yet, go ahead.
It's not because of the race thing, it's really the culture. Because
say that again, brother.
It's culture.
Give that brother a hand. So what that brother says is extremely important, because a lot of people will say, oh, y'all hate group, y'all hate different races. You understand? It's not about race, it's not about skin color, right? It's about culture, right? Now, why is it about culture?
This is my personal, but I believe that even though men may propagate the culture, but women are the ones that teach the culture to the children.
Why you giving me? Oh, say that again, brother. Hey, give me Yahweh. This is gonna be a precept for what he's talking about. Give me Deuteronomy 7 and 1. Keep reading. You said women. You said women propagate the culture.
Well, I believe that women are the ones that propagate the culture. They're the ones that actually teach it to the children.
Okay.
So if you may marry somebody and she may be in your village, but she's the one that's you're away hunting, selling, buying, whatever it is you're doing to take care of your home. She's at home teaching those crucial first years of that children's life.
Give that brother a hand. You know what I'm saying? All right. So that's half the answer, right? Because it take two to make a baby. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly used to say, go half on a baby, right? So what that brother said is absolutely correct. You understand? So when you're away, your wife is nurturing and raising up, your children, teaching them their ABCs, you know what I'm saying? Teaching them, they multiplications, teaching them what foods are good for them, what foods are bad for them. Hell, even teaching them how to pray, teaching them about God, all of that stuff. But the father, when he comes home, he's the enforcer, right? And what does an enforcer do? He enforces his rules. You understand? His law in the house. You understand? If he see you operating outside of something that he don't like, he gonna check you on it. Scripture says, train up a child in the way he should go, so when he's older, he will not depart from it. Give me what you got in Deuteronomy 7.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land, whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Verse 2.
Verse 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
Did it say be friends with them?
Smite them.
Did it say walk hand in hand with them?
Smite them.
Did it say let them dwell and set up rackets and businesses in your community, and they have their own community.
Smite them.
And do what?
Utterly destroy them.
Why? Does anybody know why? You said what?
It's not our culture.
It's not that it's not our culture, right? Now, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, these are all nations under Ham, right? Okay, so these are our enemies, right? Would you let your enemies set up camp within your gate? But the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we let them do it every day. Who own the liquor stores? The Arabs and the East Indians. You understand? Who own the corner stores? Arabs and the East Indians. Who own the beauty supplies? The Chinese. You know what I'm saying? Who own your nail salons? You know what I'm saying? The Vietnamese and the Chinese. You understand? Who own your grocery stores? Probably the white man. You know what I'm saying? Or East Indian. You understand? Who own your subways? Shoot, I mean, it's all of them. You know what I'm saying? It depends on which block. You know what I'm saying? But like your insurance companies, you understand? Everything that you go to on a day-to-day basis. So you gotta get gas. You know what I'm saying? I know my wife hit the beauty supply at least twice a month. She get her nails done once a month. You know what I'm saying? We go to the grocery store at least twice a month. You understand? That's 4 times that the Black, Hispanic, and Native American dollar has circulated, not in our community. You understand? But they say that the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that we're broke, we're bums, right? But that can't be possible because every nation sets up a racket in your community. You understand? Do you think it's coincidence that a certain nationality is in every gas station? No, it's a racket. Do you think it's a coincidence that it's a certain nationality in every liquor store? No, it's a racket. Do you think it is a coincidence that it is a certain nationality that runs every beauty supply, every nail salon? You understand? Every Subway, every McDonald's. You understand? No, it's a racket. Do you think it's a coincidence that a certain nationality is the landlord for all the strip centers in the hood and the barrios or on the reservation? No, because it is an intentional racket set up to keep you down. So as long as you down, you can't rise to your royal estate. The other nations can eat off you and get fat as a tick. It was set up and designed this way because they all took crafty counsel against you. Everybody knows who you are except for you. You understand? I tell people all the time, like, I've had the opportunity to travel overseas. You know, everybody say we African. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to the continent of Africa. You know what I'm saying? I done been to Egypt. You understand? I done been to Johannesburg. I done been to Cape Town. You understand? But something very interestingly happened when I was in South Africa. You understand? Everybody that I ran into, you know, they would call me Oida. You understand? I was like, Oida. What the hell is Oida? You know what I'm saying? Like, why they keep calling me this? You understand? And then I just happened to come across a random person working in a kiosk. You know, they be selling jewelry and stuff like that. I was like, hey man, he's like, you speak English? He's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was like, why do the natives, why do they keep calling me Oida? He was like, oh, that's Judah. And I was like, well, why they calling me that? I mean, of course I know who I am, but he was like, because that's who you are. You're not African. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all call yourselves African Americans, but y'all are not African. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are not from here. Y'all are not from this continent. And it's crazy because everybody else in the world knows who we are, but us. You understand? But you've been taught that you wasn't taught nothing past what 1776. You was taught that you was a slave. You was taught that Abraham Lincoln freed you. You know what I'm saying? You was taught about Reconstruction in the Jim Crow era and the fight for civil rights. And here we are, Black Lives Matter. That's your whole history. You understand? But everybody else knows who you are. You understand? And majority of blacks and Hispanics are native to this land. You understand? Now we're scattered abroad to the four corners of the earth. You understand? We're everywhere because we were dispersed in 70 AD, which we're gonna get into. You understand? We're all over the world, but those on this side of the pond, majority of us, our ancestors are right here. You understand? Like my family are Alabamians. You know what I'm saying? Specific, the Mobile Choctaw, you understand, of the Tuscaloosan Mississippian chieftain. You understand? My family roots is in Alabama. They've been from Alabama. You understand? I pulled not only my genealogical research, I asked the ancestors, I asked the elders in my family. You know what I'm saying? Because I was confused because I thought, you know, we was slaves. You know what I'm saying? And I talked to my great cousin Ruth. Crazy, her name's Ruth. You know what I'm saying? But she was like, "Nah, baby, we ain't never been slaves, ever." Now, have we done sharecropping? Yes, that's a form of slavery. You know, we've been farmers. You understand? But we ain't never been slaves. And what's interesting enough, the more and more I started asking people that were my friends, hey man, ask, you know, who I was close with their family, man, ask your grandma, you know, if y'all were ever slaves. You know, people from Louisiana, Texas, Alabama, Miami, you understand? And it's the same result. Not to saying that slavery never happened, but it's just the story and narrative that they promote to us isn't necessarily what actually happened in history. And that's what we're bringing out today, because a lot of our so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American brothers, they think that the white man is Japheth, but he's not. And we're gonna bring out in the records today who he actually is. Go ahead, keep reading on page 22. Where it says, while there were other Gentile. Oh, I'm sorry, you were reading Genesis 7 and 1. I mean, Deuteronomy 7 and 1, right? You was in verse 2. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them.
And do what?
Nor show mercy unto them.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, all we do is show mercy to our oppressors. You understand? George Floyd didn't get no mercy when that cop was leaning on his neck for 18 minutes and 47 seconds and crushed his windpipe to when he died. Our oppressor didn't give no mercy to Philando Castile. It wasn't no mercy for Sandra Bland. It wasn't no mercy for Alton Sterling. You understand? But yet we want to give mercy to our oppressor. We want to love everybody but the people in our community. You understand? The only people that can help Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because we're the only ones going through what we're going through. We're the only people that can identify with one another. You think it's by happen chance that, matter of fact, I'm just like, Chris, what's your nationality? Outside of what does the world call you? Mexican. The world calls you Mexican. What language do you speak? Spanish. Is your family from Spain? No. They're not from Spain? Why do you speak Spanish? That's the language of your, matter of fact, say it on the mic. Say it on the mic.
That is the language of our oppressor.
Okay, Yakaba, What language do you speak? What is the world call your nationality?
African American.
African American. Okay. What language do you speak?
English.
Are you from England?
La.
What? You're not from England, brother?
La.
So you mean to tell me that? Oh, and matter of fact, for our people in Brazil, what language do they speak?
Portuguese.
Portuguese, right? Are they from Portugal?
Ah.
You understand? Now, is it a coincidence that the blacks and the Hispanics and the Native Americans, they speak English? You understand? That they all speak a tongue of a nation that they're not from. Could it be a possibility that these three nations, when you go back further and further in antiquity where they came from, that they might have a common root? That it was a racket that was set up to destroy you. Because once you cut off the head, you can take the body. You understand? There was matter of fact, as far as you know, do you know what the language was of your people pre-Spanish colonialism? Chris?
Are you asking if I speak it or
no?
Or
Do
what it's called?
you know what the language was pre-Spaniard colonialism?
No, I believe it was called Nahuatl.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You say you believe. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. Right? Yakubad. Do you know what the language was? You know what I'm saying? But before the English came over here in the original 13 colonies, do you know what that was?
La.
You understand? Or what they say it was pre-slavery?
La. I don't want.
Why you think that is?
Was forced to not remember.
Yes, because you know they like to put blacks and Hispanics against each other. What I'm showing y'all is that we are in the same condition. We have the same issue. You understand? We don't know our history because our culture was taken from you. And we don't know our language because our culture was taken from us. You understand? It's the same situation, but you want to be beefed up against each other on the block. But really, y'all have the same situation. It's just a language barrier between you. You understand? And what's crazy is they put you against one another on purpose because the day that you realize that you all are the same, it's over for them. Keep reading Deuteronomy.
Verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriage.
It said what?
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
You understand? Oh, so you mean it's not okay for a black man, a Hispanic man, or a Native American man to be with a white woman? To be with an African woman? To be with an Asian woman? You understand? That's not okay? I thought white was right. What does it say?
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Uh-huh. Keep reading.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
Mm-hmm. Keep reading.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
So, Chris, you see, going back to your point, it's not just the women, it's the men too. A woman is a nurturer, a man is a leader. You understand? So your wife, if say for instance, you're an Israelite man and you take a heathen wife, your wife can nurture your children wrong. You understand? Can train them up wrong, right? Or if an Israelite woman marries a heathen man, he can lead those children in that household wrong. I mean, they're going to be heathens anyway because you are the seed of your father. But keep reading. Mm-hmm.
Away thy son from following me.
They will do what?
Turn away thy son from following me.
And that's what happened in this area that we're reading about in the mask of Edom. You understand? Post-Babylonian era, going into the Persian and the Medes, going into the Greco-Roman Empire, right? So we started intermarrying with these other nations, right? And And as a rule, right, just like the rule, what was the rule that the Lord gave Abraham when he made a covenant with him? Does anybody know? What did Abraham have to do? What did Abraham have to do as a physical showing to establish the covenant? What was the signature of the covenant? The contract.
Is that when he wrestled?
No, that's Jacob. What did Abraham physically have to do to seal the contract between him and the Lord? Go ahead, Yahweh.
The circumcision.
The what?
Circumcision.
Now, did he only have to get circumcised?
So did his children.
Who?
So did his seeds.
So did his seed? Was it just him and his seed that had to get circumcised?
Who
else?
Maid servants, hand servants, everybody.
All of the man servants as well, right? So let me ask you a question. Were his man servants of his family, of his line? Where did his man servants come from and his maid servants?
He got a whole bunch of them from Canaanites.
No,
well,
Egypt. I mean, they're Hamites, but what nation did he get them from?
Egypt.
There you go. Get that brother a hand. All right. So the house of Abraham, right, got a whole bunch of maid servants from Egypt, right, because of the situation, the entanglement that he got into with Pharaoh. You understand? And for Pharaoh to make good on the evil that he did, you understand, he blessed his game with silver, gold, oxens, calves, goats, manservants, and maid servants, right? So he had to circumcise himself, his son, and all the manservants of his house, right? So if you're a servant, matter of fact, let's say, for instance, you had a manor, you know what I'm saying? We'll call it the manor of Chris, right? And you had maid servants and manservants. Do they follow their own rules in their house, in your house? What rules do they follow?
The rules that I set up for the house.
Right, the rules that you set up, right? And the rules that were set up were the rules of the Most High God, right? That's why when Abraham sent Eleazar, I'm sorry, not Abraham, was Abraham? Yeah, when Abraham sent Eleazar to get a wife for his son Isaac, you understand, he spoke like he was able to pray to the Lord, talk to the Lord, because he followed the rules of the Lord, because he followed his master, Abraham, right? So what this would be considered as a term today in so-called Judaism would be called a proselyte, right? A proselyte is a convert, okay? There are many sectors in time when you had proselytes, right? You had proselytes during the time of Abraham. Egyptians were converted to follow the God of Abraham, right? During the time of David, the Edomites, you understand, had to convert and follow the law, statutes, and commandments, right? And also during the Greco-Roman Empire, during the 2nd century BCE or BC, whether you want to say before Common Era or before Christ, you understand, there was a mass conversion of the entire Edomite nation. You understand? To take a heritage that wasn't theirs, because they felt that they were the rightful people that deserve the inheritance of God because they are descendant from the older brother. All right. Keep reading. Finish out Deuteronomy 7 where you are, and we're gonna pick up back on page 22.
Okay. This is the book of Deuteronomy 7. Away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods.
You understand? And that's what happened with Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today. We follow all the gods of our oppressor, right? Your Buddhist, your Asian oppressors that got your nail salons and your beauty supplies. Some of us are Buddhists. You understand? You go to their Buddhist temple, right? And then our Arab oppressors that own some of our chicken spots and subways, you know what I'm saying? You became a Muslim. You know what I'm saying? And then we got African oppressors. You know what I'm saying? You know the Africans they get the taxi cabs. You know what I'm saying? Salakia, no Salakia. You know what I'm saying? You want to be Ifa. You want to be Santaria. You want to do voodoo. You understand? You follow a spiritual system. You understand? And then you know you want to be a Judeo-Christian, whatever the hell that is. You understand? And you want to be Catholic. You understand? The oppression of the white man, right? So these are all spiritual systems that were pushed upon you due to slavery. It was a mass conversion to Islam during the Arabic slave trade. There was a mass conversion to Christianity during the Christian Crusades. You understand? Anybody that was an oppressor over you, you had to follow the rules of their house, just like when they were in your house. It just so happens you forgot about your house. You left your house to be abandoned. You understand? You abandoned your God and you abandoned your culture to take on the culture of these other nations. This is what happens when you intermarry with them. Now go back to the to page 22. Pull it up on the screen for him. Go ahead. While it says while there were other Gentiles.
Con. This is the mask of Esau, page 22. While there were other Gentiles admixtures, these forbidden marriages were mainly with Hittites of the former Canaanite empire.
You understand? So we literally just read in Deuteronomy where it said, where the Lord told you, do not intermingle with the Hittites. That was one of them. The Hittites, the Girgashites, the Perizzites, and the Amorites. You know what I'm saying? These are all Canaanite nations. He strictly forbids you to intermingle with them. But you know, can't tell a nigga, spick, or savage nothing. We hard-headed because we're royalty on the inside, right? Keep reading.
In this time, this merging of Judites with Hittites became one of the racial types called Jews.
All right. So now we have the first racial mixture of people who are called Jews who are not Jews. You understand? Because beforehand, it was just Judah. You understand? Which it was just the house of Judah. You understand? Which was the southern kingdom, which was Benjamin, Judah, and some of Levi, right? And then you had the northern kingdom, right, which was also known as House of Israel or Ephraim, which was the other 10 tribes, right? Those are the two names that our nation was known as. But when we started mingling with the other nations and they became proselytes, they started calling themselves Jews, right? Because they were converts, all right? This is where this name started becoming popularized, all right? Keep reading.
To begin to grasp the complex heterogeneity.
Where you at?
Heterogeneity.
Yes.
Heterogeneity of the world jewelry. It is essential to keep in mind that the inhabitants of Jerusalem were a composite of antagonistic groups.
Mm-hmm.
The good figs.
Now, this is what I was talking about. You had two different trees, right? You have the what?
The good figs of Judah,
which is the southern kingdom. Keep reading.
And the evil figs of
Shelanite
Canaanites.
Keep reading. Pseudo Judites.
Judites.
Right? So what does pseudo mean? Does anybody know what pseudo means? You know, because you know that's a popular word now. Pseudoscience. What does pseudo mean?
It's like faux leather.
It's what?
Faux leather.
Yeah, it's like faux leather. You know what I'm saying? What's faux leather? It's something like leather, but it ain't. You understand? That's what a pseudo Judite is. It's something like a Judite, but it ain't. You understand? And this is where this starts. This is why this is very important. Keep reading. When Nebuchadnezzar
carried the good fig Judites with Juonah and the princes of Judah of Babylon, Jeremiah, book of Jeremiah
24:1.
24:1.
Mhm.
The evil figs residue Jerusalem was left under Zedekiah, who resigned in Jerusalem.
All
for
right.
11 years.
So now, peep what's being said. All right. When the real Jews, right, Judah, Southern Kingdom, was taken off to slavery, you understand? The evil, the fake Jews, the pseudo Jews, the proselytes, were left to remain in Jerusalem. You understand? So now this is just one generation right here, right? So let's just say I'm a traveling man, right? You know, I'm traveling and do trade through a town, right? They be like, well, the Jews on the market, right? I'm like, well, who the hell are the Jews? Oh, they Israelites. They from the tribe of Judah. They over there. And I go over there and I see these proselyte pseudo-Judites and they call themselves Jews. And I ain't never seen a Jew before. What I'm going to think? That's what Jews look like. But that's not them because the real Jews are in what? Slavery. Just like today. You understand? When anybody hears the word Jew, right, or Jews, you automatically think about the white man with the weird looking hat, you know what I'm saying, the curly sideburns, and or somebody with a yarmulke on. You understand? But while you're seeing them, the real Jews are where? In slavery, just like today. The same thing that happened then, the same thing that's happening now. Scripture says that there is nothing new under the sun. You understand? Keep reading.
Left under Slakia. Okay, the evil figs residue of Jerusalem was left under Zedekiah, who resigned in 11 years as Nebuchadnezzar, puppet king.
Mm-hmm. As a what?
Nebuchadnezzar, puppet king.
What is a puppet king?
King pulling strings.
Is the king in rulership? It's something like the president of the United States, right? Is the president of the United States, is he chosen by, is he voted in by the people, or is he chosen? He's chosen. You understand? They know who the president is going to be before, like terms before terms. You understand? Presidents are picked. The vote is just a dog and pony show for you. That's why the scriptures explicitly tells you not to vote. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? What does it profit you to pick a king of another nationality to govern over you? How does that profit your people? It doesn't. You understand? Because that person, go ahead.
I was going to give an example that I was given when I became a father.
Go ahead.
When your child is, you're going to step out, you're trying to get your children ready. They don't want to cooperate. They're fussing, fighting you. They don't like what they're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
A way to give them a sense of control is to allow them to pick their outfit. So you give,
but you already it's two outfits that you didn't picked out, right?
Yes.
And you give them illusion of what?
Illusion of choice.
Illusion of choice.
And now the direction that we're going and where we're going, it doesn't matter. He's happy that he got a choice.
Right. And that's what it is today. They treat you like children, right? You have the illusion that you have a choice between candidates. You understand? But it's a dog and pony show. You understand? Everything is already set up. The media, the newspapers, the blogs, if there are any blogs anymore. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? The podcasts, you feel me? And they all run the same programming, no matter where you look, because it's set up that way, just like it was set up then with the Puppet King. Keep reading.
The Jews masquerading as the Lord's chosen people.
The what?
As the Lord's chosen people.
Mm-hmm.
Is undoubtedly the greatest hoax in history.
The greatest what in history?
Hoax in history. But
you would believe that the white man is the real Jew. Now, I'm just going to ask a common sense question, right? The scripture says when the righteous are in rulership, that the world rejoices. If the so-called Ashkenaz, Sephardic, or the Khazarian Jews were the real Jews, the real children of Israel that the Bible speaks of, is the world in rejoicing right now? I mean, I'm 38 years old. Aron, how old are you? In 27 years, if you've been on this earth, has the world ever rejoiced? You know what I'm saying? Chris, how old are you?
38.
You thought we the same age. What about you? Yakuba, how old are you?
41.
You 41. So you've been on this earth a little bit longer than me. You know what I'm saying? In the 41 years that you've been on this earth, do you ever remember the earth rejoicing?
Nah.
So what does that mean? We in hell, and the Jews that's here is what?
Imposters.
You know what I'm saying? They the fake Jews. You know what I'm saying? We brought it out last week in Revelations 2:9. It was so nice the Lord had to say it twice in the book. It's in Revelations 2:9 and 3:9. It says the same thing. I know thy works. I know thy poverty. You understand? But thou art rich. You understand? And I know the blasphemy of them that call themselves Jews, but are not, but a synagogue of Satan. That's in Revelation. That's in the end of the book. So at the end of the book, which we know, Revelation means to reveal, if it hasn't come true yet, that means that the Jews, because Christ ain't came yet, that means that the Jews that are on the earth now are fake. And we're getting into how they came into power. Because this is about the mask of Edom, the man of sin being revealed. We're taking we're taking the fog away, the smoke and mirrors. All right, keep reading.
This is the basis of the anti-God conspiracy of which I.S.U.P.K spoke.
Mm-hmm.
The plan began to evolve among the Jews in Babylon, who, as the historian H.G. Wells wrote, found the idea of belonging to a chosen race predestined to preeminence was a very attractive one.
Mm-hmm.
If they could foil themselves off on the world as Israel.
You know what I'm saying? So the entire plan, the entire time, was to pawn themselves off as Israel. You understand? While the real Israelites were in prison. Because remember, in the Babylonian captivity, the house of Israel and the house of Judah was taken away. In the Syrian captivity, we was taken away. In the Persian and Medes, at least in the Persian and Medes, Artaxerxes saw to it that we was allowed to rebuild the temple of the Most High God again. You understand? We was prisoners there. And then when them disgusting pedophile just trifling Macedonians who became the progenitors for the Greco-Roman Empire, was also Edom and Esau, who we about to get into. You understand? When they came in, it was like, damn, that we know who they are. We're going to lay their entire culture to waste so they will rise no more, so the name of Israel will be no more in remembrance. And we're going to replace their entire heritage with proselytes. And we're going to have them think that they're us and we're them. You understand? Because in the Christian church, if you ask a Christian, you understand, are you God's chosen people, or are you the Gentiles? What they all going to say? They all say we the Gentiles. You understand that we the heathens. You understand? We the ones. I mean, we all of course are going to be, if Lord allows, saved by the grace of the Most High God. You understand? But in their eyes, we're the heathens. You understand? We're the Gentiles. We are the non-Israelites. And the so-called Sephardic, Khazarian, and the Ashkenaz Jews are the real children of Israel. Well, if that's the case, Jew is only short for Judah. Where Manasseh at? Where Asher at? Where Naphtali? Where Levi? Where's Reuben? You understand? Where's Gad? Where they at? Because last time I checked, in Revelations 22, it says that the kingdom of heaven has 4 sides and 3 gates on each side. Last time I checked, that's 12. And there's an angel at each gate and a name on each gate for each house, for each tribe of the nation of Israel. Where is the Russian gate? Where is the France gate? Where is the Japanese gate? You understand? Because last time I checked, none of those nations were the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Am I wrong? But they would have you believe that they're the chosen people. But everybody on this earth mimics blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? They got people in Japan right now ripping off Chicano culture. You understand? With the clown ink and everything, with the low riders, you understand? Wearing the Dickie fits, you know what I'm saying, with the bandanas and everything. But they in Japan ripping off your culture. Hip hop is across the world now. They rapping in Russia. You understand? Why is it in China and Japan, they got a process to do to make their hair look like afros, to make their hair look like woolly hair now? But the Jews, the so-called Sephardic, Ashkenaz, you understand, and Khazarian Jews, they're the chosen people. Everything that you do is coveted upon the face of the earth. It's so coveted that everything that you do, the Ashkenaz, Sephardic, and the Khazarian Jews, they make a racket. Oh, you want to play football? I'll be your lawyer. You want to sing? I'll be your manager. I'll be your lawyer. I got a record label for you to sign to. You understand? You want to be an actor? You understand? Well, I got a whole bunch of studios that you can come in and act in. They control the racket that propagates the culture. And the culture is you. You are the salt of the earth. Read. Drop down to the last part, the part that I got in brackets at the bottom.
Okay. When the remnant of the kingdom of Judah was taken to Babylon, many of the Edomites.
Many of the what?
Edomites.
The what?
Edomites.
The what?
Edomites.
You know what I'm saying? Is that the Japhites?
Edomites.
The who?
The Edomites.
Uh-huh.
Amalekites.
You know what I'm saying? That's another house of Edom. You understand? Keep reading.
Canaanites.
Uh-huh.
People who were already in Babylon became proselytes.
Uh-huh.
To Jerusalem.
To what?
To Jerusalem.
No, to Judaism.
So like to Judaism.
You know what I'm saying? So Edomites and Canaanites became proselytes. That's just a big fancy word for converts to Judaism. Let me tell you why. Because they were operating in Jerusalem. And you cannot operate in the land of the Most High God if you do not keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. So much so, in the Bible, when they tried to move into the land, you understand, lions were killing them. The Lord was sending lions to pick them off. And they had to go beseech a priest, you understand, from the children of Israel to teach them how to live on the land so the Lord wouldn't kill them. Because even if a servant is in your house, all a servant is a trustee. What is a trustee's job? To keep the house. So in Esau's mind, the so-called white man, he's just keeping the house. And as long as he keeps you outside of the house and not remember that this house is actually yours, instead of you being a servant in the house, he can have run of the house. He can have pick of all the designer threads in the house. He can go through the vault and manage the vault how he sees fit to make sure all the bills is paid in the house. But the crazy thing is that this entire house is yours. And who would have thought that a trustee would be over the beneficiary? Or the trustee would be over the executor of the estate? When has that ever happened? Never. But it's because you fell from your first estate. You are the stars that fell from heaven. You understand, that lost their first estate. That's not talking about some angelic war that happened, like the Most High God would design angels in heaven that can disobey him. No, the only people that are disobedient are children. And we are those disobedient children that have rebelled against our Father. And our Father used these other nations as a whooping stick to chastise us. But it is time to wake up. All right. Now, what I want you to go to the let's see which ones I sent you. I want you to go to. Go to, let's see, of the ones I sent you from the bottom, 1, 2, 3. The one that says Bazara. All right. I'm gonna pull that up on the screen for the people at home. You know what I'm saying? When you got it, let me know. You got it already?
I don't count.
All right, no sweat. Let me pull it up. That's part of the. Is it this one? I think it's this one. I think it's the first one. Yep, boom. There we go. All right. All right. So I want you to read with it so they'll know this is not from the Israelite School and Universal Practical Knowledge records. This is not from our records. What does it say in that top left corner?
Jewish Virtual Library.
What virtual library?
Jewish Virtual Library.
So is this the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge virtual library?
I don't want.
No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Let's read what it says.
Bazara, a city in Bashan, south of the Haran Mount.
Mm-hmm.
It is probably mentioned in the city list of Thotmos.
Mm-hmm.
Third, number 23. And the Tel El Amarana
Mm-hmm.
letter EA.
You don't got to read the parentheses. It's fine.
As Bazarana.
Right. So Bazara is also known as Bazarana. Keep reading.
Also known as Bazarana. It does not appear in the Bible, but may be identical with Basar.
Right. So, but Bazara is in the Bible, right? Bazara in the Bible is a Edomite city, right? It is a city of Edom, right? That city is also known as Bazaruna, right? But you won't see Bazaruna in the Bible, right? Keep reading.
Where Jews live in the time of the Hashemonians.
Now, Chris, this is what I want you to look up this word. It's spelled, let me know when you're ready. It's HASMONEANS. Again, that's HASMONEANS, the Hasmoneans. You got it?
ASMONEANS.
Correct. Let me know what you got.
On the Bible?
No, I want you. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad, brother. Can you look up that definition, Aron, for me, please? HASMONEANS. It is important for you to know who these people are. HASMONEANS. And when you got it, hand Aron the mic so you can read that definition for me. This is extremely important. Because when you find out who these people are, you're gonna be like, oh my God. I know I was. My entire jaw dropped when I read who these people are. You got it, brother? Hasmoneans.
The Hasmoneans were a dynasty.
A what?
A dynasty of Jewish kings that fought to liberate Judea from Seleucid rules.
Hold on. Let me hold on. Let me pull it up. Show you what nation they were. Well, it's gonna tell you what nation they were, but I want you to know who they were. Hold on. Look up. A certain it wasn't just the Maccabean family. It was a certain. It were descendants from Herod, right? Okay, and Hasmonean is a title, right, for a Greek captain or a ruler, right? So the Israelites weren't rulers, nor did they have any office or political position within any nation. You understand? None whatsoever. But the people, just like the pseudo Judites, who were Canaanites, the Hittites, how they sent the real children of Israel and they left the pseudo Judites in Jerusalem to rule. They did the same thing during Greco-Roman Empire. All right. Keep reading where you are, Yaakobad.
Okay. Bazara, great period began in 106 CE when the Nabatean kingdom was annexed. Annexed to the Roman Empire.
To the what empire?
To the Roman Empire.
To the what empire?
The Roman Empire.
You understand? So Basra, you understand, this area, this city of Edomites was an annex of what?
The Roman Empire.
You understand? They were a part of the Roman Empire. Not only were they a part of the Roman Empire, as we're going to get into later today, they were one of the wealthiest cities within the Roman Empire. Because just like today, it was just like then. You know what they ran? The banks. You understand? They kept all the money and they ran all the books. You understand? They were the record keepers. You understand? And what they have kept from you are your records, right? Pull the next one next to it. The one that says from the Oxford Dictionary, the conversion forced. You see it? It's in the same vein, brother.
Come.
Go ahead, read what it says.
Remains of the
read from where it's from, so they know it's not from us. It's not one of our records.
Come. Jewish library, jewishvirtuallibrary.org.
No. The one that says the Oxford Dictionary of the Jewish religion.
The Oxford Dictionary of the Jewish religion.
All right. Go ahead. Drop down to the bottom.
Come. The forced conversion of the Edomites.
No. It's Idumeans. Right.
The Idumeans.
So Idumea, right, is their land, right, or another name for the Edomites, right? Okay. So it says the forced conversions of the Idumeans or the Edomites. Keep reading.
Edomites to Judaism.
To what?
To Judaism.
Keep reading.
By John Hyrcanus. 135 to 105 BCE.
What dates?
135 to 105 BCE.
So BCE, that's before a common era, so that's before Christ, right?
Come.
Chris, you can't look it up. Aaron, look up the dates of the Greek Empire. Look at the time frame of the Greek Empire. From what time to what time? Or just look up the fall of the Greek Empire. So we can know when that was. Give me that date. This is extremely important. What time does it give?
The Battle of Corinth in 146 BCE.
Right. So the Battle of Corinth was in 146 BCE. You know what happened after that? The rise of what empire? What, Chris? Rome. Right? Now look up when the rise of the Roman Empire was. So you can know how long the Edomites have been the so-called Jewish man. What date does it say for the rise of the Roman Empire?
It says the first century BCE marked the transition of Rome from a republic to an empire.
So you mean to tell me that the so-called Ashkenaz, Sephardic, Khazarians, these people that have proselytes that are so-called Jews, you understand, have been fake Jews since before the Roman Empire, since the end of the fall of Greece? So during that toss-up during the Maccabean times, right? So does anybody know what happened during the Maccabean War? What was the war over? Does anybody know? What was the war over, Yakubad? You don't know? So we were not allowed to keep our feast days, to go and worship in our temple, profess that you were a Jew, or to be circumcised. You had what you say, Ron? They would kill you. They would toss you headlong from the top of a bridge. If you survive, they'll beat you to death till you're dead. You understand? Or they'll burn you to death in a human-sized skillet. They'll fry you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So if you kept anything towards God, you would be killed. So what did you think majority of the so-called Israelites did? Are we Christians? Are we Muslim? Are we Buddhists? Are we Hinduists? Are we I.F.A? or we Santeria, or we voodoo. You understand? Because they didn't want to die. You understand? They didn't believe that the Lord would deliver them. You understand? All but one family. You understand? The sons of Mattathias. You understand? Judas Maccabeus and his brother, they were the only family that stood up against them, and they caused a revolt that would make the Seminole War look like child's play. You understand? And they went on a killing spree, murdering Greeks. You understand? Because they chose to keep the law of the Lord. It was to the point to where their father Mattathias grew so upset. There was an Israelite in their town. You understand? When they came and the Greeks told them, y'all gonna either get down and lay down. He went and laid down before them and prostrated himself. Mattathias came with a sword and chopped his head off. You understand? He said, we'd rather die than serve another God. But you have not suffered unto blood. None of y'all have never been thrown into prison because of your culture. You understand? You've never been tortured because of your culture. All you got to do is make a choice. And you done chose to be everything else but to be a child of God. You understand? And you've let another nation who was meant to be a trustee in your house to run it like he's the executor or the beneficiary of the entire state. But a reckoning is coming. Keep reading where you were, brother. On that highlighted page.
Record case of forced conversion to Judaism. On the other hand, Jews have been the victims of forced conversion throughout their history.
Of what?
Of forced conversion throughout their history.
Now, what I want to pull up is, now who's the person that said, it said John, what's his name?
Hyrcanus.
John Hyrcanus. All right, let's find out who John Hyrcanus is. All right. For those that's online, right? This is a picture of John Hyrcanus. Boy, look at who that looked like. That looked like Vlad from Vlad TV. You understand? If you online and you looking at this picture of John Hyrcanus, this is a replica of his picture. That boy looked like Vlad from Vlad TV. You understand? And Vlad is a so-called what? Jew. You understand? All right. Now, let's read. All right. Who he is. All right. Go ahead and read the let's see, which one is it that I sent you? I don't even think I sent it to you. Hold on, brother. I'm about to send it to you right now. All right, the most recent one I just sent to you. Just read what that says.
John Hyrcanus was a Hezbollah leader of Jewish high priests of the 2nd century BCE.
That's the Roman Empire time, according to Iran. You understand? This is right before the rise of the Roman Empire. Keep reading.
In rabbinical, in rabbinic literature, he is often referred to YAHANNA Kohen Gadol, John the high priest.
All right. Now, read the second to last one. Let me pull it up on screen for them. This like we bringing out records. You know what I'm saying? Not what we think, not what we feel, but the actual records. Read where this is from. This is from the New World Encyclopedia. All right, read what this says.
From the New World Encyclopedia, the Hezbollah official
Antipater.
Antipater, the
Right. So
Idumean.
Antipater is is like I told you, it was a Greek captain or a Greek political ruler, right? Someone that was put in place by the Greeks. All right. Read.
Antipater, the Idumean, was of Edomite origin.
It was of what origin?
Edomite origin.
Japheth origin.
Edomite origin.
It was what origin?
Of Edomite origin.
You understand? So the so-called Ashkenaz, Sephardic, you understand? And what's a Sephardic, Ashkenaz? Oh, Khazarian Jew, they're Edomite in origin. And not only that, they were the ruling class during the Roman Empire. Keep reading. He's about to say it.
He was the progenitor of the Hadorian dynasty that ruled Judea after the Roman conquest.
After the what?
Roman conquest.
So just like they did during Babylon, they took the real Israelites off to slavery and left the pseudo-Judites, the proselytes, the converts, to rule. Because they had to have someone in the land to keep the law so that they could operate in that land and not be killed off by the Lord. Because the Lord cares that he cares about his children, right? But if you're going to operate in his house, you got to operate by certain rules. That's why they've been able to get away with what they've been getting away with for so long. And it's been since the Roman Empire. It's been a toss-up. Keep reading.
Under Herod the Great, Idumean.
Under who?
Herod the Great.
Now, does anybody know who Herod is? And why Herod is so significant? You don't know? Who the Herod? You know who King Herod tried to kill? Just take a wild guess.
Jesus?
Who?
Jesus?
Give that brother a hand. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Herod tried to kill Jesus when he was born. Why would Herod try to kill Jesus when he was born? Who is the man that the world knows as Jesus Christ? Who is he?
The King of Israel.
The king of who?
The King of Israel.
And who was Herod at the time?
The devil.
No. What was his title?
King.
King of who?
King over Israel.
King over Israel. He was not the king of Israel. He was the king over Israel. And when the rightful real king was born by birthright, by blood, Esau did what he wanted, just like he wanted to do when he found out that Isaac blessed him with the birthright that he gave up for a meager pottage of uncooked venison stew. He wanted to kill Jacob. He wanted to kill Jacob for a decision that he made because he was an ungrateful bastard, man. Now, let me ask you a question. If you knew that when you got home, let's just say, like I use an example, like you in the military, right? Part of your trust fund is that you had to serve in the military or you had to go to college, right? Let's say I use the example, you in the military, you out there in the bush, you done blew through your rations, you know what I'm saying? And white boy Braylon right here that's in your unit, you understand? He's like, hey, bro, I don't got no more MREs, bro. Let me hold one, bro. You got extra, dog. Let me hold one. You know, you be fasting out here in the bush. I don't know how you do it, but let me hold one, bro. He's like, nah, bro. We all got equal rations, you know. But I tell you what, I know when you get out the military, bro, you got 4.5 million waiting on you. You know what I'm saying? I trade you this MRE for $4.5 million. Now, anybody in their right mind is a meal ready to eat worth $4.5 million. Hell, But you know what Esau, you know what his response was? What is $4.5 million to me and I'm about to die? You understand? He couldn't fast a day. He couldn't go a day without food. You understand? And he gave up, you know, I'm using an example because the wealth of the house of Abraham at this point to Isaac was well worth more than $4.5 million. I mean, hell, Abraham gave Eleazar $1 million. I'm gonna correct myself. 500,000 to $1 million worth of livestock to go fetch him a bride, because we knew based off the cost of a camel, it costs more or less depending if the camel got one hump or two. So we don't know how many humps, you know what I'm saying, that the camels that he sent with Eleazar to go get Isaac a wife was, but depending on if they had one or two humps, we calculated in today's time, it was anywhere from 500,000 to $1 million worth of livestock. So if you're gonna let one of your servants walk off with 500,000 to $1 million, you can't be hurting for it, right? You know what I'm saying? So the estate of Abraham was well worth more than $4.5 million. And that's what Esau traded it for, a meager portion of stew. And that is why he is thought and spoken of as an ungrateful bastard, man. You understand? He is a son that disregarded what his fathers built. So let's get back to it. Read where you was reading at. Start off at the Herodian dynasty. You got it? You on the right one? The Hasmonean official Antipater?
Count, I'm here. Got it. Sir.
All right, go ahead.
The Herodian dynasty.
Start where it says he was a progenitor.
Count. He was the progenitor of the Herodian dynasty that ruled Judea after the Roman conquest. Under Herod the Great. Idumean was ruled on Herod's behalf by a series of governors, among whom were his brother Joseph ben Antipater, and his brother-in-law Costable. Herod's lack of popularity in Judea was in large part due to his Edomite origin.
To his what?
To his Edomite origin.
To his what?
To his Edomite origin.
To his what?
His Edomite origin.
You understand? So Herod, you understand, the quote unquote king of the Jews or king of Israel at the time was what in origin?
Edomite origin.
You understand? So this was the Pharisees and Sadducees. You understand? This also makes clear why it says all of the seed of Abraham are not of the stock of Abraham. You understand? Because the scripture says, in Isaac is my seed called. And who was the choice seed in Isaac? Jacob, not Esau. You understand? Imagine an imposter ruling like he is the authentic real deal, and everybody that are his servants are the real deal, and they know he not. You understand? That's why Herod was not popular, and this lets you know why Herod wanted to kill Christ. You understand? Which further lets you know why the Romans made a huge deal out of sacking Judea, and why the coins of the Roman emperor under what's your boy's name? Let me go to it. The Negro question part 3. Vespucian. Right, that's his name. Under Vespucian, you understand? All of these coins under Vespucian
in the Roman Empire, they had heads and bodies of so-called Israelites because we were trophies. When they what do you do with trophies? You show them off. You understand? That's why, like on the back of a dollar bill, it's so many hidden things on there because it's trophies. I'll give you a historic gem of a nation sacking another nation and making fun of them, right? Has anybody ever seen the Russian flag before? Anybody seen the Russian flag before? Let me set the picture for you. The Roman flag is two golden birds facing opposite directions, right? And in the middle of it, right, there is a crest, right? And in that crest, it's a white man on a white horse spearing a dead black bird. Now, do you know who that dead black bird is on the ground? That's the Moorish Empire, because the Moorish Empire's flag was a red flag with two black birds facing opposite directions. And they rule the area that Russia rules currently. It's one of the areas that they rule. And when they defeated the Moors, they literally made fun of them by making a flag just like theirs, but in the middle of their flag, it was a white man on a horse spearing them and killing them to the ground. It's no different than what they did during the Roman Empire when they sacked Judea. They made collectibles. You understand? Just like trading cards. You know what I'm saying? Like sports cards. You feel me? They made collectibles, right? I want you to go to and we gonna close it out with this. Scroll up. Let me see. I'm gonna tell you from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, how can I forget? Let's read what Adolf Hitler said about the so-called Ashkenaz Jews. That's from the bottom, from the new one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The one that got red on one side, white on the other, right? And we know that Hitler hated the so-called Jewish man, right? Does anybody know why he hated the so-called Jewish man? Let's find out. Let me pull it up so the people at home can read along with you. And I want you to read that part that's circled. Let me pull it up. Where we at? Mask of Edom, the Nazis. All right, so this is from a book called The Nazis by Robert Edwin Hertzstein. I mean, that is that a black name? Hertzstein? What type of name that sound like?
Jewish name.
Jewish. So this is written by a Jewish man, right? It's not written by a German. It's not written by the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. This is what Adolf Hitler had to say about the so-called Jewish man. All right, read what it says in that circled area.
In one segment of a Nazi instructional film night, the generic
in the name of that film was called The Right. Keep reading.
The generic heritage of the Jews purportedly traced to origin Negro.
To what?
To the original Negro.
Okay, so it said the genetic heritage. This is from Adolf Hitler. It's in a book called The Nazis. This is what Adolf Hitler said. He hated niggas. He hated Spicks. He hated savages. He hated so-called Jews, right? This is what Adolf Hitler said in one of his propaganda films called The Right. He said the genetic heritage of the Jews is purportedly traced to the Oriental Negro. Keep reading.
Asia.
Mm-hmm.
Medic people.
Right? Because we know Israel was right next to Ham, right next to Moab, right? Which is the Orient, right? And where is that area? That's the area that's called the so-called Middle East. Keep reading.
Hence, the film concludes the Jews.
Hold on, no. Say it. I want you to read this real clear. It concluded and said what?
The Jew is a bastard.
Is a what?
A bastard.
Is a what?
A bastard.
The so-called Jew is a what?
Bastard.
What is a bastard? He's what?
Fatherless.
The so-called Jew is fatherless because he is Esau. He is Edom. He is Idumea. He is the Basra that's talked about in the Bible. He is perpetually cut off from his heritage. He is a bastard, man. Keep reading.
Below the villainous title, characters of Judge Sus, a violent anti-Semitic melodrama spins schemes with his corny rabbi Lawak.
You understand? So this person was an anti-Semite, right? And this was a propaganda film from Adolf Hitler during World War II to expose who the real Jews were and who they weren't. Now we know that's one reason. Does anybody know the other reason why Hitler wanted to get rid of and kill the Jews? Now, we're just talking about history. Now, I'm not advocating for anyone to go out and commit violence against the Ashkenaz, the Sephardic, you know what I'm saying, or the Khazarian Jews. But does anybody know the other reason why? I'll give you a hint. I said it in this lesson. Go ahead.
Because they weed their way into the system until they're at the head of the system. They control everything in the system.
Give that brother a hand. You understand? Every city every nation they went into, the king would kick them out of the nation. They would go to the next nation. The king would kick them out of that nation because they would weave themselves into the society. You understand? And because most people they have a lending system, but the lending system, you would just pay back what you owe, but not them. They would charge usury. So by the end of the day, all the farmers and all the king's land would be in the hand of the Sephardic, the Khazarians, you understand, and the Ashkenaz Jews. And that's why the king was like, y'all gotta get the hell, either y'all die or y'all leave. You understand? That's why when you look up the records of the Jews, that's why they call themselves the nomadic people, because nobody wanted them in their land, because they would literally rape and steal the land. It's what they've been doing. You understand? That's why Hitler wanted them out of Germany, but instead of kicking them out of Germany, he was like, I'm gonna exterminate them so no other nation will have this problem again. You understand? That is why Hitler wanted to kill the Jews, because they were bastards. You understand? They were fatherless bastards that had no moral, no ethic code, because they were cunning. Just as the description of Esau in Genesis 25. You understand? He had to learn from experience. So from experience, he knew that he can go into any society, weave himself in, and take the kingdom by usury. The same thing that he's done here today. Now, I want you to pull those coins. Let's see, from the Nazi post is 1, 2, 3, 4. The one They got a picture of a woman in bond. It's like a blue and gray. But I want you to go to the first one. They got the you can see Officer Gabawar finger in it. All right. Now I want you to read that. We're gonna read that one and the next one. And we're gonna close out there.
Okay.
Hold on, let me pull it up for them. This is the Negro question part 3. All right, go ahead.
This Hebrew woman has been.
No, read the one that the one that got Officer Gabawar finger. The one that's pointing to like a head, a man head. You got it?
Okay.
All right, go ahead. The one says Vespucian.
Vespucian had many coins minted to commemorate his great victory over Judea.
His what?
His great victory over Judea. But no matter how the coin was minted, he always decided
always depicted
the Jews as a black race of people.
As a what race of people?
Black race of people.
This is Vespucian. If you don't know who Vespucian is a Roman emperor. And on the coins, he always depicted the Jews as a black race of people. And for those of you that are on Clubhouse and you can't see the picture online, that nigga in that picture look like Uncle Leroy. You understand? You see them cheekbones and you see that big old nose. You understand? Look like one of my uncles. You feel me? All right. Read the next one.
You can see the nose, face, skin, lips are that of a black Judean male from the New Testament era.
From the what era?
New Testament era.
Because we know the Roman Empire was during what era?
New Testament era.
It was the New Testament era. You understand? This is a coin minted during the Roman Empire, during the time of Vespucian. This is during the time of and post Christ. The truth has been here all along. But they want you to think that they're the real deal and you're the convert. They want you to think that they're the truth and you're the proselyte. But in fact, you're the truth and they're the proselytes. You understand? This is not what I think. You understand? This is not with the this is not the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We didn't went through so far. We didn't went not just in this class, but from last class we went through Babylon 10 book 2. That was written by a black man. Okay, all right. You say, all right, it was written by a black man. Okay, the Mask of Edom, that comes from the Jewish synagogue. You can't even buy that book on Amazon because of the information that's in it. The only way that you can get that book is from a Jewish synagogue. The only reason why we have it is because a brother that came into the truth, you understand, was going to a Jewish synagogue before he found out that he was a real Israelite, and he got the book. You understand? Then we pulled out the book, The Nazis. That was written by a Jew. That wasn't written by us. You know what I'm saying? Then we read the Negro question part 3. You understand? That was written by a black man. Okay, no sweat. Then we put out the book of the Roman emperors. That was written by a white man. And then we read a book last week, The Roman Empire, also known Idumea. Matter of fact, read that and we're going to close out with that. Where it says the last 20 questions. It's the one next to a green cover book. I want you to read that highlighted part. And let me pull it up on the screen. Let's see. I got it right here. Yep. Read that highlighted part. Matter of fact, start where it says that it exists at Miss.
Come. That it exists at Miss, the fable and the impities,
The
the
absurdities.
absurdities, and the blasphemies of the Jewish Talmud, and that it may be comprehended in these 20 words.
In what words?
These 20 words.
So these next 20 words, listen up, listen good, and listen clear. In the Bible, it says like this: if a man have an ear, let him hear. Read.
The Romans came from Esau.
Came from who?
From Esau.
From who?
From Esau.
Read.
Who is Edom?
Who is who?
Who is Edom?
Read.
And Italy.
Read.
Is the Idumea, Rome, the Bazarak of the Hebrew prophets.
All right. And with that, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. We are going to say I.M.A.G.I.U.M, which means to stand. SAR, which means to turn and face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew, then in English. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kowa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Natalanawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kabawatinawa, Kasalakanawa, Kabawatinawa, Wala'ah, Tabi'ayinawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hawashayinawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'Allah, Wahata Para, Wawalumium, Aman. In the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. SAR, turn and face the front. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers, then to the sisters, then of Israel. Mighty Shabbat, Maju, Rock, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Brakatah, Yadamatah, SAR, turn and face sisters, men of Israel. Mighty Shabbat, Maju, Rock, Yahweh Shema Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Yadamatah, dismissed. Chris, make sure the cats and stuff is wild. Start on out here this week.
Hold on. Close out.